What is this?
It's Christmas.
A game.
Game.
A game.
Outside the shade.
Cool. All those are close. Close answers. It's actually an economic model. And the important thing to remember about this particular economic model is that all the sections around the edges are in themselves monopoly games. And likewise, this monopoly game is a component of a much larger monopoly game. If you can imagine, the economy has a whole interconnecting network of monopoly games, you'll begin to grasp how the economy works. What is the inevitable conclusion of a game of Monopoly?
Chaos. That please.
I lose.
Net.
Win!
Somebody wins.
Win.
One person.
One person wins. Wealth and property centralizes, someone wins. This is really the strength of this economic model in the sense that it demonstrates that capacity for wealth and property to centralize in our current economic system. Okay? Wealth and property centralizes, someone wins. Then what happens?
Everyone else fails.
You get doubles.
Everyone fails, you get
It starts again.
it starts again. The game
Hierarchy.
ends. The game is over, right? What is the essential difference between the model and reality?
Life goes on.
Sorry?
Life goes on.
Life goes on. The game does not end. Shit.
It's true though.
If the winner wanted to extend the game, what would he do? If he controlled all the property, had all the money, was getting income from his holdings, what would he do? You were supposed to guess that. I've hit the wrong button. You lend the losers money. That's how you keep the game going, right? At what stage of the game would you say, taking the UK economy generally, at what stage of the game would we be at now, would you say? Are we beginning the game? Is it halfway through? Where are we? Any ideas?
A few minutes from the end.
A few minutes from the end? A few minutes past the end. Very deep. We the grunts have already lost the game. And we pay interest for the privilege of continuing to play.
If you remember nothing else of this evening, remember that.
What is a grunt?
Cartwright Highlands.
I beg your pardon?
Cartwright Highlands.
A grunt is a technical term. There are two features to a grunt, and they relate to interest and tax. A grunt is someone who pays more interest than he earns. Anybody here reckon they earn more interest than they pay? The second feature, tax. A grunt is someone who pays more tax than he evades. Is there anybody here who thinks they may not be a grunt? This is an important point. We are all grunts and we have lost the game. If you've already won everything on the table and you're receiving interest and rates for doing absolutely well. What would you seek to do next?
Increase the rates.
Maintain it? Increase the rates?
Create a new game.
Create a new game. Look for opportunities to invest elsewhere. In terms of the economic model, that would be, in effect, another game. We're near the end of this phase of the discussion, but I want you to think of the macro and the micro that I mentioned earlier. These could be 3 villages. They could be 3 companies. They could be 3 islands in the Caribbean. They're each distinct models. But let us suppose that A is the UK. We've already lost the game. There's a clear winner there. B is halfway through the game, and C is just starting. If you were the winner of game A, and you had the choice of trying to participate in either game B or game C, which one would you go for?
C.
Why?
It's fine.
There won't be any well centralized. They'll all be small players. In game B, some winners will be beginning to emerge. They're beginning to accrue some wealth. You might have some tough competition there. If you went to game C, and they said, we don't want you to play, what would you say?
Tough.
When you back one of the major players, or a player,
You'd say to all the players, how much money have you got? And they'd look through them and say, I got about 5,000 quid, thank you very much. And you'd say, I'll pay you each £10,000 if you let me play in your game. Nobody's going to turn that down. Few rolls of the dice, you're around the board, you have huge purchasing power, no problem paying anybody else rent, buy whatever you land on, build hotels and houses to your heart's content. They're stuffed, aren't they? Very quickly. Then you look at game B. Once you've established yourself as the winner in A and C, B becomes much simpler, because even if they've got 2 or 3 winners that look like they're merging, they're not going to be a problem either. At the macro level, this is economics.